My name is Megan Edwards of Focus Communications, and today we're getting the latest update from Timberline Resources, which trades on the OTCQB under the symbol TLRS and the Toronto Stock Exchange under the symbol TBR. And joining me today is Timberline's President and CEO Patrick Highsmith. Patrick, once again, it's great to have you back on the show.
Good morning, Megan. It's good to be with you here from sunny, well, rainy Beaver Creek.
Hey, it's rainy here too, so there you go. So to start things off, for those new to the Timberline story, could you please provide a quick overview of the company and your Eureka project in Nevada?
Absolutely, Megan. Timberline is a pure gold play, 100% focused on exploration for gold in Nevada. I'm not going to speak about it, but on this map, we mentioned all three projects, but we're going to focus on the Eureka project, which is on the Battle Mountain Eureka gold trend just outside the town of Eureka, kind of central Nevada. You can also see our Paiute and Seven Troughs gold projects also in Nevada. But as I said, we're going to focus on Eureka today. And just as an overview of the Eureka project, this slide shows our 70 square kilometer land position. It's kind of an oblique view looking north across a geologic map here. And you can see our big property outline. We're actually going to focus along what we call the lookout trend right over in this area, where we have what we call the water well zone, a new discovery area just east of our existing resource, where we've been adding significant high-grade gold intercepts over the last couple of years. We also, if you look north on this slide, you follow this green corridor, Megan, that's what we call the Eureka Gold Belt, which outlines some older rocks, Cambrian and Ordovician rocks that are hosting a lot of the Carlin-type gold excitement in the Eureka district, including at the north end there, I-80 Gold's incredible recent drilling at the Ruby Hill Archimedes mine complex. So that's what we're up to in Eureka.
Perfect. So let's talk about your news this week, where the company announced an intersection of 22.8 meters at 4.29 grams per ton gold in a southern extension of the water well zone at the Eureka project. Now, this is another exciting round of results from the water well zone. Could you quickly run us through the details of this release?
Absolutely. And there's a few key takeaways here, Megan. We're drilling, it's about 7,000 meters. It's probably going to be about 25 drill holes or so. And this is the first group of completed holes that we could press release. The drilling started in June. So it's great to get the first batch of 4 holes out there, particularly when each of the 4 holes hit significant gold, Megan. And we had a few bullet points in the news release summarizing those hits. Of course, we had to headline this intercept of about 23 meters of 4.29 grams per ton gold. Within that, there was a 7.6 meter interval that averaged 11.56 grams per ton. So once again, we're drilling high grade. And the key takeaway is all 4 holes hit significant mineralization. 3 of the 4 holes had 10 grams per ton or better within those intercepts. So again, consistently seeing high grade there. And in fact, I think maybe the best part, Megan, is that the zone really kind of held together. As we've discussed before, we're drilling a specific rock unit called the Dunderberg Shale. And at the base of the Dunderberg Shale, it's consistently mineralized, and we continue to see that. And on this slide, we've shown basically in red outline there is our resource, and in the yellow outline here is the water well zone, more or less like so. And what you're looking for there as you advance a project like this is, these drill holes are consistently hitting gold. And what we plotted on this map, Megan, a little bit different view. We're plotting grade thickness, little bubbles for each of those holes. So that means we've taken the width of the interval in meters and multiplied it by its average grade in grams per ton. And that gives you a grade thickness image. And obviously a big number is a good thing, because it means maybe the interval is both thick and high grade. And the bigger red circles are sort of 100 gram meters of grade thickness. The purple circles are greater than 200 gram meters of grade thickness. And you can see the water well zone is really filling in now. And that means we've consistently been able to step out and hit this zone at the base of the Dunderberg Shale. Most importantly here, that hole in the south that I just mentioned that shows here is the southernmost red circle on that slide, that right down here. That was a 75 meter step out from the very high grade hole just north of it, the purple circle that you see. And that was the interval we just discussed. And then we also repeated a couple of holes nearby to reverse circulation holes that had hit good intercepts. But we came in with core this time to drill quite close to them to give us better geologic information, test the sample quality from the RC drilling, and really give us that robust data from the core drilling. So those are the other results we mentioned here. Again, in both cases, we had really nice hits there of 30 meters of 2.5 grams and 39 meters of 1.7 grams, long runs of lower grade, but still consistent mineralization in those intercepts.
Mm-hmm. And I think you've just touched on this a little bit, but you have confirmed the water well zone, and now you're stepping out and hitting mineralization. Can you discuss the potential of this area?
Yeah, and I think I'll use 2 slides to do that. Here, just looking at the water well zone, you'll notice that we've outlined in yellow to the north what we call the relay zone. There's one exploration hole up there we're awaiting assays on. That was a reverse circulation hole. And then the south pediment going south from here, Megan, as I mentioned, the whole south end of this thing is still wide open as we stepped out 75 meters and hit that significant mineralization. You can see some dots there with no assays yet. That means we have filled in around these hits we've just been discussing, and we're still awaiting assays. In fact, we've just completed a couple of those holes in that area this week. So in the coming weeks, we'll have more assays from the southern zone. If you look at the northern end of this slide, if you really look carefully, you can see we put some holes in here where you can see that we've collared holes and drilled them angled holes to the north. And that means we're testing that northern end where we had, again, more high grade and relatively thick gold we reported there. So this potential is really looking exciting because not only do we have the water well zone being open to the south and to the north and to the east, but we're right next to an existing resource. So we're drilling into kind of the deeper, higher grade roots of that system. And as I've said before, we believe this area of mineralization easily has the potential to host 3 to 5 million ounces of gold. There's a lot more work to do, but we're steadily drilling and we're steadily hitting some positive results. And then just a topic I should have shown graphically earlier, but here we're just comparing, as I mentioned before, we drilled a reverse circulation hole on the left that we announced a couple of years ago, actually, almost 2 years ago, I think. But then on the right, you see the recent core hole, and you see them comparing both the geology and the assays. And what you note is both intervals are kind of consistent. The one on the left is a 35-meter interval of good gold. The one on the right, you can see by the little bar chart, is a 39-meter of good gold. And we look to see, are we getting corroborating results from the core and the RC? And we are. In general, these intervals tend to be a little thicker and a little better grade when we drill them with core. But in this case, the interval on the left had maximum assays around 5 grams per ton, and the interval on the right had maximum assays around 4.8 grams per ton. So pretty good agreement, Megan. And just like I said, the geology is kind of hanging together.
Right. And this release was the first 4 holes from your program. Where's the company currently drilling now? And what can investors expect from the next batch of results?
Absolutely. I just zoomed out to a little bigger picture view, Megan, where we've again circled the water well zone in yellow there. And that's the footprint that we're filling in. And about probably 80% of this drill program is focused either in that yellow oval or just to the north or just to the south of it as we test where this zone is open. So we'll be filling in the footprint a little bit. That's where the drill rig is right now. It's offsetting those southern intercepts, I think, on the east side. So we're filling in there. About 80% of the results will be drilling results will be from that area. And then if you look across to the right-hand side of this slide, we've talked about it before, the Oswego showing over here, where we announced some good drill results back in May. We put a couple of holes in there. We expect to put a couple of more in that area. But again, most of the focus will be right where we know the zone is really hanging together, trying to fill in that water well zone and grow it both to the north, the south, and also to the east. So we're about 75% done with the drilling now, Megan, and this is the first batch of results. So over the next 2 or 3 weeks, we'd expect another release, and then maybe that'll be about the right timing for the consecutive batches of news flow that we expect to go right through October and into November.
Perfect. So lots to talk about coming up in the next few months.
Absolutely. We'll be here to update you as the news comes out, but we're finally into results season, as we call it, and that'll be pretty steady news flow for the next couple of months.
That's great. Thank you, Patrick. We look forward to hearing more from Timberline in the near future.
Thank you, Megan.